Hi there, I'm Sam Sorbo with the Accidental Homeschooler. So many of you have been tuning in for the weekly public school exits that I've been participating in, where we sit on a panel of homeschool experts for various reasons, and we talk about our experiences with home education and what we've learned and how we can help parents exit the public school system. I've been doing that and a number of other things, and one of the questions that keeps coming up is, what about working parents? How can a single mom who has to have a full-time job be also a homeschool parent? So I just want to start with a quick story. I was in a car and my driver said, "Oh, I homeschooled my son for a year." And I said, "Oh, what did that look like? How did that come about?" And he said, "Well, they were failing him in 7th grade. He just wasn't performing, and they were going to fail him, and I didn't want him to fail and be held back a year. So I talked to my wife, and my wife refused. She didn't want any part of it. And so I switched to night shifts. And for a year, he worked the night shift, and he educated his son at home for 3 or 4 hours a day, working through the various curricula, the various school curricula. So it was still public school at home, but instead of the child going into the public school environment, he did the work at home. And I said to him, how did it turn out? And he said, well, he went back to school for 9th grade, and he was at grade level. So so basically he had homeschooled his kids 7th and 8th grade in 1 year, and then put his child back into public school. I said, what about your relationship with your son? And he said, well, it was pretty rocky at first, but then it got better. And then it got a lot better. So I think that there are a couple lessons from that. One, if you as a parent take on the impetus and pour into your child and make them a priority, you will reap rewards you can't even fathom. Number two, you approach it as a limited time opportunity. So right now, COVID, everything that's happening in the world, a lot of changes, just approach it as a limited time opportunity. Do it for the fall. You're a working parent, oh my gosh, how can I take this on too? Try it for the fall. Just try it. Number 3, you have no idea what's going to happen with your job. It might get a lot more, it might get somewhat less. You might be able to make a shift. Your employer might say, I don't want you to come in for 5 days a week. I'd want you to come in for 2 days a week, and I want you home for 3 days a week. There are myriad opportunities for things to change, even over a short period of time. Look what's happened since COVID hit and how everything has changed. So there's that. And then the last note that I want to say is, it's not school at home. It's education of your child. They are 2 different beasts. But it's hard for you to fathom because you went to school, and so did I, and so we've been schooled, but we weren't educated. The way we got educated was actually living in the real world and learning how to figure stuff out for ourselves, and going farther than the school books taught or the school teachers taught. So I encourage you to, first of all, look at it as for the fall semester only. And it's going to be hard. Okay, sometimes life isn't easy. Are your kids worth it? So just look at it from that point of view and say, okay, I'm going to try this. We're going to do just the semester. I'll get some of the curriculum. We'll do some reading. We'll work on some writing assignments, and break it down. How do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. But don't eat elephants, because I really like elephants. All right, that's it for me. Thanks for tuning in. Please share the video with other parents who are struggling with how to get this done. There are a lot of different ways to get it done. I had one parent whose wife also refused. He hired a retired school teacher to come every day and teach his children. If you have really young children, join a co-op and do timeshare with the co-op. So one parent takes your kids for 4 hours a day. You take their kids for 4 hours on a different day, or stuff like that. It's just not rocket science. You can do this. You've just been taught, you've been schooled that you can't do it. So hunker down, get her done, okay? And don't eat elephants. Thanks for tuning in.